All right, so we are going to be holding our Honors Brunch senior discussion virtually this year. And our first question, we would like to have our students introduce themselves, tell us what high school they were graduating from and what their plan is for next year. So Aura, you go first.
I'm Aura Lopez. I'm graduating from Ocean City High School and I'm attending Rowan in the fall.
Okay. And do you know what your major will be?
Business, international business.
Okay. Jack?
Hi, my name is Jack Sella. I'm graduating from Holy Spirit High School, and next year I will be attending Gwen Mercy University to continue my academic and athletic career. And as of right now, I'm undecided going into the fall.
Sophia?
I'm Sophia Facenda, and I'm graduating from Holy Spirit, and I'm going to James Madison in the fall, and I'm going to be studying kinesiology.
Sydney?
Hi, I'm Sydney. I'm graduating from Ocean City High School. I will be attending the University of Las Vegas, and I'll be studying political science.
Okay. And Ernest?
Ernest Howard. I'm graduating from Pleasantville High School, and for the fall, I'm going to Sacred Heart University to major in math to get a degree in civil engineering.
All right, so the next question is going to be, what is some of the biggest differences that you guys noticed between middle school and high school? Aura, you want to go first?
I think they were very similar, but it definitely, obviously the classes got harder, and I definitely feel it became less cliquey. Everyone was just kind of doing their own thing. You made lots of new friends. It was like a lot of people you met a lot more people than what you grew up with in elementary and middle school. But overall, it wasn't anything crazy like how it's portrayed in the movies or anything like that, which I feel was like one of the biggest things I learned.
Okay. Jack?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely harder because obviously as you get older, class you're going to get harder and harder. But I mean, it wasn't crazy, like nothing that no middle schooler could handle. You know, it's just if you keep working hard and keep doing your work, you're going to be absolutely fine. So,
Sophia?
So basically, like the difference was the class sizes and how the workload and how you can't procrastinate. You cannot procrastinate in high school, or else you're going to fall behind right away. But otherwise,
A lesson in life too.
yes, yeah. So, otherwise, it wasn't that much of a difference, but just the bigger workload and who you meet and all that.
Sydney?
Yeah, I would definitely say the biggest difference was the size. There were a lot more kids in class and just in the building in general. And the amount of work that I got was it was more challenging than in middle school, but it was a good challenging.
Ernest?
The difference is basically time management, just being able to, maintain doing sports, doing your work, studying, all that type of stuff. That was the biggest difference going to high school.
Next question, were there any specific lessons or words of advice or experiences that you had or, interactions with teachers at the middle school level that prepared you to have success at the high school level? Anything jump out at you that, this particular experience really helped me out when I got to high school? Ernest, you want to go or?
Yeah, I'll go. I got something on the line. I know a lot of teachers have like study sessions after school. So, I mean, everybody should really take advantage of that because, you get teacher, stuff like that, build a better bond, and she can help you out, just being able to, work with the teacher under like after hours type thing and studying so like they can help you. That helps a lot.
Sydney?
I guess from middle school, there were a lot of teachers who helped me like prepare me for the work. Dr. Horner, I know the work that she gave in her English class was very similar to like the work I got in high school English.
Sophia?
So I would just say, like, going into high school, like, have an open mind. Don't be afraid to ask teacher questions. Don't be afraid to, like, go up to other people, make friends. But there is, like, all the teachers at the middle school definitely did prepare me to the best of their ability to go into high school with all the workload and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Ernest said, the staying after school thing was definitely one of the biggest things for me, and it grows a bond, obviously, between teachers, and it's definitely another big thing in high school. I mean, to do that, like individually, just staying after school with the teacher, whatnot, definitely a big thing that helped in middle school.
R?
Yeah, like everyone else said, communicate with your teachers. If you need help, don't be afraid to reach out. They're always willing to help, and surround yourself with people who share the same goals that you share, and you tend to become who you surround yourself with. So choose your friends wisely, stuff like that.
Very, very true. Very true. All right, so the next one, we are living through really an unprecedented time in human history right now, and you guys are experiencing this. And one day you'll get to tell your grandkids about this. Schools are closed, sports seasons are canceled, and important high school experiences like the prom canceled, or at least postponed. Talk to us about your experience right now with your virtual learning. What are some of the things that you miss most about school, and that that you wish you could get back to? Or we'll start with you first.
It's been a little difficult in the sense that it's hard. We never would have imagined our senior year not having our prom, not knowing when our graduation is going to be or if we're even going to have one. And honestly, I feel like I'm doing a lot more work now than I did while I was in school. So that's a little difficult too.
I agree with that.
Yeah, because it's the first thing for teachers in schools. They probably are balancing out, right?
Yep. So that obviously is like the downside, but obviously it is for the health of everyone and for the better. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's basically how you have to go with it, but yeah, not ideal.
No.
Definitely the biggest thing is just not be able to see like friends every day, people in the hallway. I think it's for everybody. Just not be able to really interact with other people. And honestly, this whole process, kind of like the online work and Zoom stuff, has gone pretty smoothly. I mean, that's what I can say for me, anyways. It's gone pretty. I mean, the work, obviously, there has been more work I've been doing at home than actually in school, but it's all gone pretty smoothly, I'd have to say. But you'd obviously rather be in school.
Sophia?
So the thing that I kind of miss most about going to school is interacting with all of my teachers, my friends. It's hard. Sometimes it is hard to learn through the computer, especially in some of my classes. But we are led up throughout the 12 years of school to our graduation, our high school prom, which is kind of disappointing to not have or being postponed, because for Holy Spirit, our graduation is virtual this year. So, because they're not rescheduling it for the commencement part, but otherwise, I think it's for the best of everyone to stay home. But yeah.
Sydney?
Yeah, I definitely miss seeing my friends and my teachers in school. The amount of work is really different, but I think everyone's doing the best they can adjusting. So hopefully everything works out. We can go back to normal.
Ernest?
I just miss being in the hallway, just making memories with everybody in school, stuff like that, just walking around, having fun, really. That's the one thing that this pandemic has done to us, just lose like motivation, like stuff like that. I know I lost some motivation doing some work online, but we got to push through it. Yeah. So hopefully we can get back to normal soon.
You certainly learn resilience through something like this. There's a rumor going around with all the parents, that all of a sudden kids are starting to sleep till 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but I know that's not you guys, is it?
Nah.
I woke up at 1 today, so.
All the time.
So, going through this, it's adversity. You got to keep fighting, overcome it. But Ernest, you had a tough experience this year with your football season and that tragedy with the shooting. And that's something that would stick with you. And what I found in life is that you often, through tragedy, you learn things about yourself, that make you a better person. Going through that experience, what are some of the things that you might be able to take with you into the future that are a kind of a positive take that maybe somehow it changed you in a way for the better, going through something like that, as a football team or whatever way you think?
So basically, I mean, I didn't really know what was going on when the situation occurred. So it was just that everybody was down during this whole situation, and we still had a game to play. So like, I don't know. A lot of people didn't want to play, but we had to just for like.
Talk a little bit about because I followed it in the paper, and talk a little bit about how you guys came together. After that experience in the community, and I read some of the quotes that you had in the paper, and they were good. That's good stuff. So talk a little bit about how that team came together and your role in that.
Basically, I was a spokesperson. So I had so many people calling me, just bombarding me about the situation. Not really who I wanted. Like, I didn't really want to talk about it, but I know that I had to be the one to share the story because it needed to be known worldwide. Mm-hmm. So basically, I was like telling everybody, and we had outreach. Like, we had walks, outreaches, talks over the phone, long talks. I had a lot of stuff going on. The news over at my house like every day. ESPN. I said the news. That was
kind of what I picked up as how you guys really came together. And sometimes you have those adversity moments. It pulls people together.
Yeah, it definitely pulled a lot of people together. Atlantic City, the mayor, definitely he said a couple words at the funeral too. Mm-hmm. That that anything can happen at any time, really, and it shouldn't even come to this though. Yeah. But we just pray for better times and stuff like that. But yeah, it was definitely a crazy time.
What advice would you guys give to middle schoolers as they're about, think about where you were 4 years ago, and what advice would you guys give to them as they work their way into the high school level in the next, couple months, that might help them along the way?
Hello?
I hear you, Ara. Go ahead.
Yeah, my computer died. Sorry.
All right, let's start with Jack's answer, so it gives you time to get set back up.
Gotcha.
Jack, what advice would you give to the school on the way?
I would definitely say keep an open mind when you're thinking about doing something. I would think just go off and do it. I mean, I remember, my senior year, I went out and played football. And we ended up winning the state championship. I had thought about it all 3 years, or freshman, sophomore, junior year. And my senior year, I was like, you know what? Might as well just do it. So I would definitely tell everyone to keep an open mind because that ended up being one of the greatest experiences of my life. Just that whole season was amazing. So I would definitely tell them that when coming into high school, keep an open mind.
Sophia?
So definitely get involved. My freshman year, I did a fall sport. I did cheerleading. So that led to me to meet new people on the team, to form connections, not just from the people that I came from middle school with. So definitely get involved, join clubs, join fall sports. Keep an open mind. Don't like not do anything. Don't just sit home and do anything or do nothing, but definitely just get involved.
And just to jump in on that point, did you guys find that in your college application process that having those activities and those clubs on your application made it a little bit easier to get into your colleges because they see what kind of person you are?
Definitely, yeah. You want to, because the colleges want to see that you're involved. They want to see your community service. You want to, they want to see that you're not just sitting at home and you have ability to get involved and all that stuff.
Yes.
Okay, Sydney?
I guess I would say don't be afraid to put yourself out there and make new friends. Don't be afraid to not try something because you don't know anyone. I mean, the clubs that I joined my freshman year and the friends that I've made through that, I've carried them, all the way to now. So you just, be yourself. And don't be afraid.
And that's a particularly important point for Absecon students because we go to several different high schools where you're probably not going to know a lot of people.
Yeah, especially at Ocean City. There were, I think, a handful of kids that I knew coming from Absecon there. So you definitely want to make friends.
Ernest, your advice?
Basically just when you get to high school, just stay focused, right when you get there. You don't take no 1 year, 2 years, start getting good grades because it's all going to lead back up where you're going to really need those grades.
That first year is important academically.
Yeah, first year is always important academically. So definitely stay on course academically. So it's not a year off when you get to high school. You still want to have fun, but you got to stay focused.
Ara?
Yeah, basically get yourself involved, even things outside of school, with clubs and sports and volunteering, because colleges look at that a lot too, not just your grades. Surround yourself with people who are going to help you become a better version of you, and don't be afraid to challenge yourself. Take that AP class. If you don't like it, then, at least you tried it, but always do your best. And
Now, I've heard that theme a couple times with you guys about choosing your friends wisely. And that's a good rule of thumb when you get to high school.
Definitely.
There's a saying, show me the company a person keeps and I'll tell you about the person. Meaning I don't need to know you, but I can tell a lot about you just by who you choose to hang out with. All right. So for the next question, who has been the greatest positive influence in your life and why? I'll let you think about that for a second. And then Jack, you'll be the first one.
Yeah, I'll go first. I definitely have to say my dad, just because of many things he has taught me and many things he's helped me with throughout my life. I'll start off I guess sports, you could say, because through sports he would help me with life, whether I knew it then or not. But there's one saying that he would always say to me, with an injury or such, if I ever got hurt or something, because I remember when I was younger, I guess I could say I was a baby a little bit. I was definitely a little bit on the softer side compared to what I am now anyways. But
Ernest, would you agree to that?
But the one thing, pretty much what I've been thinking about what he said over the past couple of years, and he said it's a long way from the heart. So if I ever tweaked an ankle or something, and I thought I wanted to come out of game, you know what? No, because your heart is always, as long as you have heart, you're going to be fine, which has always been my biggest thing. So yeah, he's definitely influenced me on a lot of stuff, and he's been a great father to me. So
Sophia?
So I would definitely say my parents. They always pushed me to the best of me with anything that was sports, academically. They was always at my games, my races, and they would always push me to be better than who I was before. Even if I was struggling with something, they'd be right there to help me and put me back up. Otherwise, those are the people. My mom and my dad are the most influential, positive people in my life.
Sydney?
I would definitely say my mom is my biggest influence. She taught me what hard work was and to push myself. She encouraged me to do anything I put my mind to. She's always supported everything I've done. So I wouldn't be who I was without her.
Ernest?
My greatest influence, my mom, but my dad too, because my dad was never really in my life, so I guess that just gave me passion for football and other things like that. So I was just always been on the edge when I played, and I just let off my anger. And my mom always supported any decision I chose, so it was really it worked hand to hand.
All right. Aura?
I would definitely have to say my mom. She was a single mom, and she always taught me, how to be independent and how to always do my best and push me to be the best me I could be always. And when I was little, I remember, with homework, she would, make me erase, if it wasn't perfect, which back then I was, so annoyed. But now I'm always do the best that I can because of that. So, she's always taught me, to just do the best that I always can. And yeah, she's the most influential person in my life.
Well, we have just passed Mother's Day, and I'm sure we'll have some happy moms when they watch this video. For your last question, if you could go back to middle school, what would you do differently?
Oh,
Oh my.
Sydney, let's start with you this time.
So I guess I really wouldn't do anything different because every experience I had in middle school helped me in high school. So every fight I got in with my friends, every failed test, that all made me a better person. So when I went to high school, I had every experience that I could take the lessons I learned and do better.
Okay. Sophia?
I don't know. I think my middle school experience was kind of like the average middle school experience. I had my group of friends. So I really wouldn't change that much because honestly, I don't really remember that much. But even though it was only 4 years ago, but I can't say I would change that much, but because I feel like middle school was kind of the same as high school, just on a bigger scale, sort of. So.
All right. Jack?
I don't think I'd change anything, to be completely honest. I mean, I loved my middle school experience. I mean, I always, I'd always tell my sister Maggie, and I'm like, don't, because I knew, and I remember at the time too that I'd want to graduate from high school. I mean from middle school, and but now I look back and I tell Maggie too, when she was in middle school, I was like, you don't want to graduate, trust me. It's you're gonna miss it, and I still miss it to this day. I mean, I loved high school and I absolutely loved middle school too, but I wouldn't change anything about it. I think everything about it was great.
There's a poem called "Enjoy the While," and what it talks about is that when you're in the moment, you're always looking for that next moment. When you're in 8th grade, I can't wait till I get to high school. When you're in high school, I can't wait till I get to college. When you're college, I can't wait to get out of college and get married. And the poem is about enjoying that while between the moment you're in and the moment you're hoping for, because there's a lot of good that happens in there. A lot of good experiences, and life only goes forward. It doesn't go backwards. You can't go backwards and relive it.
Yeah.
Ernest, anything you would do differently?
Nah. I think middle school was like a learning stage. So basically, any loss I took, I don't consider it a loss. I consider it a lesson. So any lesson was definitely meant for me.
Well, you were at mainland when Eric Thomas came, right? Spoke to the kids, and he had that one line. A setback is only a setup for the next, time opportunity for success that you have, right?
That's right.
Aura, anything you would do differently?
No, pretty much the same as everyone. I think everything I learned in middle school helped me become a better high school student and made the experience a lot better. So I wouldn't change anything. And MMC Attales was a great school, so great teachers too. So.
That's great to hear. Well, I'll tell you what, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to sit down and answer these questions for us. I'm hoping that, maybe that when I put this video together and some of our 8th graders watch this, or even some of our 5th graders, maybe they'll have a different approach to how they take on school, and for our 8th graders as they go to high school, maybe some of these lessons that you guys learned over the years will help them, as they move on to the next phase of their life. Aura and Sydney, I don't know you well, but I'll tell you what, you guys seem like great kids. Jack, Sophia, Ernest, I've known you guys a long time. I know your parents, and I know you guys are good kids. And if we're producing quality students like you guys out of the Absecon School District, and our community is doing a pretty darn good job. And I wish you guys the best of luck, all right?
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.